Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to wish you a happy new year. And I'm so excited to film this video because this is going to be a big chapter of my life. It's definitely going to be a major factor this year in my content. So I wanted to kick off the new year with this video. I hope you're stepping into 2025 with a sense of hope and excitement. And I know I am. I feel like the gloves are off. I feel like if you have seen my other videos, you know that 2024 was like, I was referring to the bulk of the year as my revival era. And I was just doing a lot of healing. And I definitely am going to be on my healing journey for the foreseeable future. But today I'm sharing my intentions for the year. I'm sharing my strategy for how I'm going to embrace a low-buy lifestyle. This year for me, it's all about living intentionally and creatively and deeply in alignment with my values. So on that note, I'm going to share my authentic code with you. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out TBM. I think you could, you just listen to the podcast. You don't have to pay for the program if you don't want to, but it's not that bad. I think it's like $30 a month. And I think if you use my link, you get a discount. So for what it's worth. But my authentic code, or the authentic code essentially, is 4 words that are phrases that really sum up your authentic self, your highest self. So for me, my words are sensuality, intention, ease, and connection. That is the filter through which everything will go. So I want to explain what those words mean to me. Sensuality for me is the literal definition of the word. It's not sexuality. Sensuality is senses. It's how things feel, taste, smell. It's my value system. I've said this in a ton of videos if you've watched them. I'm a very sensory driven person. Smell is critical. Taste is like, I don't want to eat crap just to eat. I'd rather not eat. I want what I want for a reason. And so to me, sensuality really speaks to that. It's a standard. And it's also living your life in a way that, at least for me, it's a way that I live my life that is deeply restorative and deeply life-giving and deeply intentional. There's a shoulder drop to it. It's comfortable. It's a deep breath. It's a regulated nervous system. And it's all the ways that living daily, like those daily things that you can, I'm a very big everyday person. I'm a very big little things person. So it's all the ways that you can incorporate that or have things speak to that as often as possible. So if I have to have a cup of coffee, I don't want shitty coffee in a styrofoam cup. I want my coffee ritual, the why behind my rituals, the why behind my routines. The next word I have is intention. So this word, I think is the easiest connection to make with a low-buy lifestyle, meaning I had an incredibly traumatic year. I've had a really rough couple of years, honestly, but 2024, end of 2023, beginning of 2024, and then the aftermath of that. So the rest of 2024 was so reactionary. So many things kind of happened to me or at me. And I think going forward, one of the things I've learned is I never want to be in that position again. So how I am doing that is every day, every choice, make as intentionally as possible. The people you spend it with, what you're buying, whatever resource it is, time, money, effort, how are you spending it, and are you happy with that? So this can come up in a myriad of ways. One of which is I'm going to stop using Amazon. So my Prime membership, when it expires, it will expire. Saying that mainly, I'll still link things because I'm not projecting my values on other people. Like, live however you want to live. I link with all my books. I link local and I link Amazon because I'm not going to make your decision for you. But for me, a big game changer was understanding that 5 cents for every dollar that you spend on Amazon stays in your local community. I don't like that. Whereas if you shop locally, it's like 68 cents. So that's an easy switch. And I've already looked into everything I had on Subscribe and Save, and I found alternatives. And I'm not aiming for perfection, but I am aiming for intention. Is there a less bad option? You know what I mean? Past that, I want to make sure that I'm supporting local, I'm supporting female, minority, LGBTQIA owned businesses. I want to make sure that my dollars matter, and not just for other people, but also for myself. You know, I'm in a phase of life that I'm in a stage of rebuild. So I think anyone can relate to this, whether you're saving for something specifically or you're saving for your future in whatever regard. I want to focus on saving. I want to build up my savings. I want to build up my investments. I want to fortify my future because I had this life experience happen and it was catastrophic. Just it was. So the next word I have is ease. Ease for me is no stress or managed stress, is making sure that when I put myself in any situation, I can get myself out of it. Ease for me is also about making sure that I'm living in a way that manages my whelm. I don't want to feel anxious. I don't want to feel overwhelmed. I don't want to feel anything that feels out of control. So I want everything to be, I know I can't, within what I can control, I want a warm hug. Like I want, they all kind of talk to each other in this regard, but ease for me is just, I have complex PTSD. So it's genuinely I want to unlearn. I want to reparent. I want to do the things, have the practices, have whatever it is to really fully embody a life that doesn't have to feel difficult. Not everything's worth the difficulty, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a job, whether that's whatever. The next one I have is connection. So connection is really important. It's something I really learned in 2024 I've had so many conversations about this throughout the year, but the way I was explaining it was when my whole life burned down, that's a lot of smoke. And as the smoke started to clear, I'm really glad I paid attention to who's walking towards me. So like as you kind of could, you could adjust your eyes again, who was walking towards you? Who is there to help you shoulder on? And I can tell you, hand on heart, who came towards me was not who I had on my bingo card. So it just really taught me the value of connection and of authentic connection and how to be a better friend, how to demand more from friends, and how to let them, truly let them. Like if they're not good, let them go. So that's my authentic code. And that's not even like a comprehensive full, rundown of all the things for those words. But if you do the these tend to be like very encompassing pillars, right? So for me, this doesn't speak to necessarily giving things up. My low buy year isn't about giving things up. It's about being intentional. It's about getting clear. It's about focusing on what do I actually want? So there's going to be things I buy this year, right, that don't fit necessarily into a low buy year because I've got a big birthday coming up and I want to celebrate. And I know as of right now, I know what I think I'm going to do for my birthday. I thought I was going to go to Scotland. I'm not going to do that now. But I am, I do have an idea that does not involve travel. Because to me, saving that money means more. Right now, in this current chapter of my life, that means more. Scotland will be there. Edinburgh is literally the first planned city. Like, I'm confident it'll be there in 2 years. So maybe I'll go 42, But it's about getting clear. It's about living in alignment. It's about feeling joyful. It's also about committing to sharing more and exploring seasonal living in a deeper way, being inspired. Community is a big part of my life. Connection is vital to me, and I want to nurture those meaningful connections. Honestly, it's also about really appreciating everything I do have. How can I value that more? So this year, I'm embarking on a low buy journey. If you've followed me for a while, I love vintage finds. Most of my house is vintage. I don't think I bought anything that's new furniture wise. I love, most of my clothes are old. This is old. So I love vintage finds. I love shopping intentionally anyway, but I could definitely step it up a notch. I've also lost a ton of weight. So, there's definitely some Amazon purchases. But I realized how easy it is to buy, maybe out of impulse, but also out of a false sense of necessity than true need. So a low buy year for me is more about aligning my spending with my values. How can I appreciate this more. And I think a big thing for me that I want to get back to is I'm a very big believer in buy once, cry once. Like, the price tag should shock you probably, but you're not going to replace it. So this isn't about deprivation. It's about mindfulness. That's my point. And it's asking, does this add value, real authentic value to my life, and appreciating what I already have, finding joy in continuing to find joy in the little things, and continuing to foster those connections. So my low buy strategy, how I'm structuring my low buy year, it's broken into categories with pretty clear guidelines so I can stay on track, but it's also, I don't really have hard lines because I believe human beings are, sentient and fluid, and our needs change and evolve as we do as people. So that being said, clothing. My goal is to only replace things that are dying, that are like actual dead. And I'm only replacing them with high quality secondhand pieces. So I am very proud of myself that last year, every single pair of jeans I bought, I think every pair of jeans I bought, because I lost so much weight that none of my pants fit me, I bought off Poshmark as an example. Skincare and beauty, obviously I use them. I'm only replacing what I use up. I just filmed an empties video, so it gives you an idea of like, those are the products I'd be replacing. I'm not buying new for the sake of new. I'm just replacing. The other thing though, to go further, is when I replace, what am I replacing it with? Where am I buying it from? So obviously skincare and beauty, you can't buy secondhand. So can I support, like for example, my med spa, like my medical grade, I'm gonna go to my med spa. My things you can get off Amazon, I can get directly through those brands, subscribe and save, and actually some of them are cheaper. Makeup, can I go, like what's the actual brand that I'm buying? Can I buy, is there an alternative that's more in alignment, that's owned by a, someone I'd rather support or something like that? You get my point. Home decor, I really love my home and I fully plan on staying here, and I'm definitely not done with it. So this is another thing that I really want to drive home, because it's not about deprivation. I want to focus on meaningful and intentional things that bring me lasting joy, but I'm also not on a time crunch. So I'll give you a really easy example. I have a record player and I have a lot of records. They're literally just stacked, right? Like they're just standing straight. I've been on a mission to find a record like holder and a record player, but I have my aesthetic. So like, I don't want a mid-century looking one. If I find the one I want, ideally vintage, that's really what I want, yes. So home decor is about being incredibly intentional. This is also where sensuality comes into play. Is it my vibe? Does it make me happy? Do I like the lines of it, all that kind of stuff? Intention comes into play, obviously. Ease, I don't want something from Restoration Hardware. That's not my aesthetic. It's also stressful to see a $10,000 couch, for example, right? And then connection, can I support my local vintage people? Like I have one couple in particular that almost everything I bought through, and I love them. They're incredible people. So if they are on the hunt, like they'll hit me up, right? I'm so much more willing to go. That's so much more in alignment with how I want to be. So that's an example. Books, I'm prioritizing reading what I own, what I'm buying from the library. Exceptions that I'm making are literally in alignment with my code. So there's a few things on the forefront that I know is going to happen, right? Like I know I've got birthday gifts to buy. I have friends, and I'm so grateful to have such dear friends that it's such an honor to want to give them a gift. Like I genuinely feel I'm so fortunate to know you well enough to feel inclined to get you a gift. You know what I mean? Obviously I'm doing that. I don't go out a lot. So I'm not like, I love to cook, I love to bake, things like that. With that comes being intentional, not buying an ingredient just for the novelty of it, not buying a low quality thing. So I love to make sourdough. You know that. If you've seen any other video of mine, you know that. I buy my flour very intentionally. Other examples of exceptions would be, there's a few things celebratory that I know I want to do. There's also things that like directly support my work, my creativity, my healing. Therapy is the one that comes to mind. So another thing that kind of feeds also into skincare and beauty is connection. So the women that I support with my maintenance routines, you know, like they're friends of mine. So like I have built every single woman that I go to. Started off, I was just a client. Now I'm a friend. I hug them every time I leave. And I think I genuinely feel so grateful to have those connections, because those women fucking had my back last year. So my lashes, my hair, when I go to the med spa and when I get my nails done, those to me, I don't go a lot. If you notice, my nail color doesn't change as often as it did. I go once a month. I've had my nails done since I was a kid, like since I was like 12 or 13 or something. So like I don't feel right without my manicure. And my friend is back doing nails again after a good break. So I'm over the moon that she's back. And I just feel like I'm so grateful to be able to support her in that way. The girl who does my hair is one of my dearest friends. She's literally, she and her boyfriend gave me this necklace. They gave me this mug these are 2 Christmas presents, you know? So like, it kind of speaks to that, right? Like those to me are very much in alignment with my code. Okay. So that kind of tells you that. I'm also tracking my spending daily. That holds me accountable. And also, I'm a big fan of a no buy day. I feel like for me, that really helped break a need versus want. Like, what do you really need? And then I'll go even so far as to, with groceries and stuff, I will look around to be like, okay, is there a way to get this where I can either directly support the vendor, or is there a grocery store I really love and I can, you know what I mean? Like, be intentional in that way. So if this resonates with you, I would love for you to join me on this journey. You don't have to commit to a full low buy year. You don't have to commit to anything, but even small changes like thrifting or meal prepping or just overall mindfulness in some regard that might be novel, those can make a big difference. And I definitely learned that in 2024, because I just feel like it really showed me what I needed. And even if it doesn't feel like a true need, but for me, that's where the sensuality really comes in. But for me, that was a visceral lack. Like I felt that lack of it. So if that resonates with you, join me. Let's make 2025 a year of living intentionally, of having a sense of gratitude and appreciating what we have and taking care of what we have, and creating lives that we're ultimately really proud of, that benefit us, not just currently, but in the future. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so excited for what 2025 has in store. And I'm really grateful to you. Thanks for coming along with me so far, and I hope you continue to come along with me on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments what your intentions are. If you have an authentic code, what's your authentic code for 2025? Are you doing the authenticity challenge? Because I am, and I'm loving it. So here is to a magical and intentional 2025. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season, and I hope you're as excited as I am. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all very soon.